That's when I realized like it was going to be different, because when you walk into a room as a dentist with the patient that has already seen you, that's already seen pictures of your work and has had a chance to build this trust with you, and they already know your fees, like it changes everything. Now you don't feel like you have to sell anything. Now it's all just like purely educating people and then just letting things happen.
Welcome to the Authentic Dentist Podcast. Join Dr. Allison House of House Dental in Scottsdale and Sean Zayas, founder of Zana, as they lead dentists deeper along the journey of authenticity to reach greater fulfillment in their professional lives and to deliver remarkable patient experiences.
I don't know if you know this, but your dad is also one of my mentors.
I did hear that. That's amazing. He's the best.
He is an amazing person. Yeah. So you got to practice in his office with him for a while. Yeah. When did he retire?
He retired right when COVID started. My mother has a lot of autoimmune type issues, and he didn't want her to get sick. So it's a bum deal. He wasn't ready to retire. I think having a year off and then trying to come back to practice was tough. But yeah, he had a good run and was able to impact not only a lot of like patient lives, but also people's lives, other doctors' lives.
Absolutely. Young dentists. What a gift. Yeah. So what an amazing thing to be mentored by him all these years.
So I was there maybe 2005 to 2020 with him. He was my partner. And when he retired, my brother Scott ended up joining me at our main flagship office, our Phoenix location.
So you don't practice regular general dentistry, do you?
I don't. I haven't for about 5 years.
So tell me, how did you make this transition? What are you doing now?
Yeah, so I primarily do smile makeovers now, specifically with porcelain veneers. And actually pretty massive pivot point for me in my life, maybe end of 2016. And
did something happen? How did you make that choice?
Yeah, something pretty drastic happened. I was sitting there one day, and I actually happened to be in Vegas at a dental meeting, and I was speaking at a conference there. And social media had just came out. My wife was pressuring me to post pictures of smiles on social media, which I was reluctant to do because I thought it was a little weird at that time. But I started posting, and then a patient named Kendall had reached out to me, sent a photo, and was like, "Hey, can you help me with my smile?" And I think that was the moment that I realized, okay, this is different, because before it was like this waiting game. You would just wait for somebody to come into the practice that wanted to make a change to their smile. And now like people are starting to reach out. Wow. And so that was the first video consult ever recorded and sent to a patient without ever seeing her in my practice. And everything just exploded after that, really.
That is amazing. So obviously you've had some extra training in order to do this. Do you take a bunch of courses?
I did. I started, when I graduated dental school, my dad was teaching at Pac Live back then, one of the biggest cosmetic continuums. And so I got a front row seat to all of that. And then he was a great mentor. But then I wanted to take a ton of other courses. I've done a lot with all the other big groups out there and just learned along the way.
So I'm thinking, how did you make this first recording? Did you take your phone and just do a recording?
Yeah, no, so it was a desktop recorder just on my laptop. And It was really clunky because sending a file that large is not easy. And then having it be HIPAA compliant, like it wasn't. But it was the first step that made me realize, like, there's something here. If we could just go to wherever people are that are self-conscious, their smile, instead of waiting for them to come to us, it would change the game. And that's when that just became my mode of communication. Everybody that came to see me would first go through a video consult.
How has that transformed over the years? Obviously, it's not the same technology you had back then.
Yeah, it's not the same. It was just put together back then. I eventually started a software company and...
Wait, you started a software company?
Yep.
And do you have a business degree in some software engineering?
I do not, no.
How did you do that?
It was crazy. I look back, it was one of those things that I think I felt so confident in the fact that it's where technology was going. It's what the people wanted. And I did test it out with about 30 colleagues all over the US. And they ran with my first program for about 3-4 months. And we saw what it was doing to their practices. And so went and hired some engineers and built a platform.
I love that. Yeah. So you just took a leap of courage and it turned out.
Yeah, it did.
Wow.
It's been fascinating to see It's the leading platform right now in dentistry for elective dentistry and video consults. But it's just been really fascinating to see how many doctors have gotten to do more of what they really love to do because they're just making it really easy for people to work with them. And they're not putting up all these barriers in the way.
So tell me what happened with Kendall. Did you get to do her?
I did. So Kendall, so I sent the first video. And the crazy thing in recording the video, I remember, like I can still feel that feeling of telling her in a video, and I'm talking to my computer screen. It's not a live console, it's record and send, because that way there's no barriers. And nothing gets in the way. I remember telling her, like, Kendall, I can help you. And there's a few different ways you can do this. And after she watched the video, I ended up quoting fees in there, which felt really uncomfortable at first because we don't like to talk about money, yet it's like the one thing everybody wants to know. But I quoted fees, and then she showed up 2 weeks later. And I will tell you, that's when I realized like it was going to be different. Because when you walk into a room as a dentist with a patient that has already seen you, that's already seen pictures of your work, and has had a chance to build this trust with you, and they already know your fees, like it changes everything. Now you don't feel like you have to sell anything. Now it's all just like purely educating people and then just letting things happen.
And you transformed her life, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah. So at the time she was at Arizona State and low, super depressed, not going out. And if you saw her smile, you'd understand like it was a pretty severe case. But now she's married, she's got twins, just totally different place in her life. And not just because of the smile, but I like to think like maybe a little piece of that was like allowing her to step into this newfound level of self-confidence.
I don't think you can sell yourself short. There is something about being able to eat and being able to smile and connect people that it matters. What we do really matters.
Yeah, I do believe that. Yeah. And I think there's, especially now, the world's changing, right? It's very much a world of we see each other every day through technology, and there's been good and bad that's come from that. But I think one of the things that's come from it is patients are much more aware now of what their options are. And now it's more just a matter of the dentist understanding how to get in front of those patients. And if they can, then they have the ability to change their lives. It's not about the teeth. It's not about the veneers. It's not about sleep apnea, implants. It's not about any of it. It really is about the people, I think.
And their connection to you, which you have the opportunity to do with this platform.
For sure.
I love it. So you're obviously posting a lot, too, about your cases. Did you take some photography courses? How did you get to do all of that? You have a huge social media following that's not doctors.
It's a good mix of doctors. A lot of it is patients and people just interested in smiles. I have a little different take on photography. I think sometimes we complicate it. In my office, it's really simple. I took a little Sharpie and wrote a teeny X on the floor on one spot, and 3 feet back, another little X. And my team will just stand on one X, take a photo, stand back, take a full face. I don't try to overcomplicate it. I think the key is just use the same camera, have good lighting, and just capture smiles.
And it's obviously working well for you.
Yeah. It has. It's been great.
So are your brothers using this technology?
Yep, they do. So my brother, Eric, he teaches full-time at the dental school. Oh. So he doesn't use it as much, but he still talks to students about it. And Scott uses it on a regular basis.
I do want to touch on, you had talked about fees. And your dad actually was the one who mentored me on fees. He said, don't be embarrassed about your fees because you want to do beautiful work and you can't unless you quote an appropriate fee. And I've always appreciated that about him. Your brother does a lab too. Do you use his lab quite a bit, or does he do a different kind of work?
He does mostly implant crowns, night guards, retainers. So we use him for that, for some small design stuff. But then I have other ceramists primarily that I work with.
I think with Phoenix, I find that there's certain people that I use for certain things because they're really good at it. It's always interesting. People say they use the same lab, but I think I have 6 or 7 labs.
Yeah.
So
it's good to have the right lab for each
for the right position.
You mentioned something though, if we can go back to that fee conversation, I think it's really important. Idea of charging like what you believe you're worth. I think for whatever reason as dentists, sometimes we're afraid to do that. We're afraid to talk about the cost of what we do. And I think one of the things that makes it really easy to do that is looking for ways to add a ton of value. So if, for a perfect example, if we're not even a mile from each other and we're both offering porcelain veneers, but the experience is different. And I know we do different type of dentistry, but like you could use it for any example. You could say all on four, you could say sleep apnea. I think the provider that's offering more value along the way, whether it's a video consult before, whether it's care calls after the fact, whether it's some sort of warranty, when you can look at ways to add more value to what you do, it makes it easier to have fees that you can justify instead of just raising your fees every year.
So I have to share what your dad taught me.
Okay.
I think it was a basketball game was his example, that you could sit in the bleachers or you could sit in the box seats and you're seeing the same game, but the experience is different and how you feel about the experience is different. And yeah, you should charge appropriately for the experience. And it was brilliant. It was what a gift.
I've never heard that before. I never heard that analogy. You never even shared that with me. So
really,
that's like a fantastic analogy.
It was a great analogy. It's been a long time.
I'm stealing that from you that you stole from him. I think that's appropriate.
He was amazing. I've always appreciated the dental community, and I appreciate that you're so close, and you've always been a great friend. So I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for joining us today.
Yeah. Good.
Thank you for listening to the Authentic Dentist Podcast. To join Allison and Sean on this journey, hit the subscribe button to never miss an episode. Here's to your success. Express yourself fully. Live authentic.